Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on the Gatsby Starter blog theme. We are continuing the tutorial on, I believe this is video 7. On this video, we are going to create the About page. And that's all we're going to do in this video. It should be fairly short, really short and concise, kind of like a component. I thought that was a good analogy. Okay, so you see my current page. Throughout this tutorial, I've been going off of I've been using Figma as my I guess my building block, or I can always reference back to my Figma. If you haven't used Figma, I highly recommend it, and it allows you to make a design quickly, easily. It's very powerful. I hardly utilize it to its capacity or capability, but I'm no designer, so I just cookie cutter. I crop some things together to make it work. It's basically just so I have a rough outline of what I'm going to be developing. And you can see this is my design, if you will. This is my version 2. I wasn't a fan of that, but so my version 2, I'm removing this. I don't like that block. I talked to my wife, Katie. She's a developer or a designer, or art director rather, and she said it's a little blocky. And you know what? That's a great way to put it. And so I'm going to remove this, and it's not going to be there. And basically, I'm just going to move this up, and it's going to be a basic about page. A couple columns here. Showing my skills, and then a little about me. I'm going to use the about me I use on the home page. So the home page is a little summary here. I'm going to use that same bio, and I'm going to use that in the about page, but then I'm going to extend on it. So I'll be reusing a component basically. And I actually don't think I have the bio set up yet. So maybe we can do that as well. So this is the bio, actually. So first things first, let's change the bio. And when I say bio, I mean the bio component that we have set up, or that's already set up. That comes out of the box with this Gatsby Starter theme, blog theme. So let me just grab my current content that I have set up, and I'll just copy and paste it, and then we can walk through it. Okay, so that's looking good. So I just added basic stuff. I'm a web developer based in New York. I make and update existing websites. That is what I do on a day-to-day basis. That is the very most simplistic version of what I am doing. And so if someone lands on this, a recruiter or another developer, or someone looking to hire a freelancer or a contract worker, that's what they should see, and that's what they should see on your blog. And this will show up on the homepage. I don't have that set up yet. Click. So that's what you want those people to see, and that's why I have it on my first page, or my first line. That's what I do. Very simple. And then I show some of my skills that I use on a day-to-day basis. And then I say, reach out to me if you have questions. Feel free to create your own little bio. Please, I encourage you. Okay, so let me minimize that. So what we have here is the bio, and it comes with the Gatsby Starter theme. And it's basic stuff. It's we have an image, and that's my little bio image here. And then we have the text. Very simple stuff. Nothing crazy. I have the paragraph, couple paragraphs. Yeah, anchor links. You can look more into that. And I have some style components. Trying to think if something is jumping out. So actually there is one thing. was having trouble with the bio header. So if you look at this little like snippet of code here, this is in my render. This is before the return. I was working on this for a couple hours because I was having trouble figuring out how to we have to set that up still. I'll just continue it. So basically, if there's no header being passed in, then I don't want the h2 element to exist in the DOM, and that's what was happening. And so it's saying if it's blank or if it's not blank, this is what you should add into the DOM, or else there's nothing, or it's null. And the same for subheading, and it would be at the top of the bio. And I was having trouble figuring out how to remove it from the DOM, and I just had to add that. And you have to add it before the return. And for some reason, I was trying to do it inline, and it wasn't working, and I couldn't figure that out. But it has to be within the render, which is yeah, it's here. But we'll get to that more once I add some pages. So let's go to the about page. You'll see there is no about page. So that's the first thing we need to do. Do about. And remember, whatever you name this, that's the name of the URL. So I'm saying I just want it to be about. And this should have something. Okay, it has nothing. But that's because we need to add content to it. So, okay, good. It's blank. Exactly what we want. So I'm going to grab what I have. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll copy it. And I will just drop it in. I showed the bio because it's the same structure as the bio component. In that we have we don't have a class component, we have a functional component. And the benefits, pros and cons, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not like the best React developer, but I think it just looks cleaner, and you don't have to, and it's more functional programming. It's not object based, which I think is nice. And since we don't have a state, we don't need since we don't have a state, we can use a functional component. So if you look at the structure, we just have some style components, a little bit of logic, and then we are returning static HTML. And that's what we want to do for the about. So I will copy this, save. So I'm importing React, static query, GraphQL, which we will use in the render. Style components, the rhythm for the typography.js, the layout, which I think we have set up, maybe not. And then you can see here we get the SEO and then the bio. So the bio is what I'm going to have in the beginning of my about. And I think that's a good way. I just want to touch on that. I think it's a good way to use similar code. Like you don't have to have new content on every page of your portfolio or of any website. I think it's good to reuse. It makes it more sustainable and makes it more, what's the word I'm looking for? It makes it more uniform throughout your site. So I just have the layout, which is referencing this layout component. And the layout component should be what you want all of your pages to look like, or the structure wise. So our layout component was used for a blog, and obviously the about isn't a blog, but it can still be utilized here because we still have our footer is the same and our navigation is the same. It's just the content in the middle. So going back to about, yep, see we're importing the bio component at the top. The about, the beginning section, this is the bio, right? So it's exactly the same on my about page as it is on my home page, which is fine. That's what I want. If you don't want that, all you have to do is just comment this out or remove it. And there it goes. And that is the beauty of React and components. Okay, so I have this same bio, and then I have my skills section. And I have 3 columns, nothing crazy, and more about me. And that's it. And so I don't have my styles sheet yet added here. I don't know if I'm going to go through that just because there's so much to unfold and undertake, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I might just do one video on styles, just because I'm updating and editing it as I go, and I'm actually not done with my portfolio. So I'm creating this content as I make my portfolio, and I think it helps me keep a fresh mind and keep this going, and as I make updates. Okay, so before we go, I just want to do one thing. I want to update this URL or this anchor tags. You'll notice that each one of these in the nav, they have a link, or they have a button that you can click and it'll go to that page, but not my home. And it's really bugging me, so I want to add that right now. I was trying to add it, but that wasn't working, where I had a little mix up. Profile image. I want to add the link right here. You may notice that I added a link around my profile image. That's for mobile purposes. And that's why they're the same, they're the link to the same page. So when you go to mobile version, when you click this image, now it will take you to the home page. So to update the color of the title, I need to add another const. So what I've been doing, I've been adding style components for the anchor tags. So I'm doing a styled span, except I don't believe that's a span. I think that should be a one, but no, I did make it a span. So if you do color and then you do props, backwards. You know, I prefer to just copy and paste. It's much faster. And now, yes, okay. To remove the underline, I just added an all. So all elements under the container component. And I can do that because of style components. It only applies to this page, or to this component rather. So everything in here, there'll be no text underlines unless I add it to a specific element. Okay, so we just set up the about page. We just fixed the title in the upper left, so you can click on it and go to the home page. And that's all we did this video, but I think seeing that and setting up a page, very useful, very helpful. This should get you going. It should get your feet wet. Now you can update the about page however you'd like. You understand the bio is also on the about page. Feel free to change that. So our portfolio is coming along nicely. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned as I continue updating this throughout the weeks. Take care.